Hey, I think that we are live, Shawn.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Yeah, not much. I just got home after a long day of teaching and a doctor's appointment with one of my kids, and I got all kinds of carnivore energy, so I'm good to go for this interview.
Awesome. I have been running one way to the next all day long, and I've been looking forward to talking with you. So I'm excited. I appreciate you having me on your channel, and I believe I'm streaming. If everything went right, I'm streaming it to mine too. So we'll welcome a bunch of folks in here
Yeah,
soon.
so it looks like you're streaming to you. From what I can see, I think you're streaming to YouTube and Twitter. That's what it looks like from my end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I just
awesome. Twitter, that's a
click
thing
it
I'm
up.
not into yet. I'm just trying to get Instagram. Like I can't even do like I'm trying to figure out Instagram.
I am still trying to figure the Instagrams out myself. I'm getting
Seriously.
better at it, but I haven't figured out how to stream to everything at the same
So
time yet.
so are you a Gen X? Like I'm a Gen X, and I feel like that's why I can't do all this stuff, like the Twitter and the Instagram.
Well, I don't know. I was born in '83, but everybody always
Okay.
tells me I'm an old soul. So
You
I
know
don't
what
I
you
don't
are?
know.
You're like on the border. You're like between the X's and the Y's, I think, if you're 83. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
'83 January.
okay, all right, yeah. My brothers are about your age then, because that's when they were around when they were born. So it looks like we have some friends already coming in and saying hello. So I just want to say hello to Michelle Bateman. I don't know you yet, but hi, Michelle. I don't think so. Hi, Michelle, and hi to Marnie Mack
What's going on, everybody? It's good to see all you guys.
and Karen. Karen is one I know. Hi, Karen. She says hi to the both of us. And we've got
Yeah.
Carnivorous Dude, best name. Hello, kids.
What's up?
Yes, my
What?
dad used to say kids and buddies. Hey there, kids and buddies. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
And here's one I skipped. So this is my friend Rhonda at Carnivore Leo. She's awesome.
What's
So
up, Rhonda?
hello, Rhonda. Well, Shawn, I was so excited to interview you. I've been watching your videos. I've seen you interviewing all the people, Dr. Barry and all those guys. So that's awesome. I've also watched you a lot on your roundtable discussions that
Mm.
you have with various carnivores. And I just really, really wanted to get the chance to talk to you face to face because
Well,
you're just so dang inspiring.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, I give it 100%. You know what I mean? I'm learning. I'm figuring this out just like everybody else, and just trying to do the best I can with what I got to work with. But I was looking forward to talking with you too. I love meeting new people. I love meeting new carnivores and
Same.
and just good people, man. There's so many good people in this space, and it's always encouraging whenever I get to go chat with people and learn their stories too.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of stories, I know obviously I think all of us know about your amazing like weight loss. And so I think we all kind of know that or most of us probably do, but I don't think I've heard your story from the beginning. Like how did this happen? How did you get find this lifestyle? How did that go for you? Can you just introduce us to your health journey?
Absolutely. Yeah. So like most of everybody else, I spent the better part of most of my life, 25 to 30 years, just going with the flow. I worked EMS for 12 years. I've been in healthcare or construction or in, church works. Those three things are basically the things that I've done my whole life. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to help other people and reach other people, but did not take very good care of myself. I always kicked the can down the road. I never wanted to go like most of us guys out here. I didn't want to go to the doctor. I didn't, keep up with any of my lab values even for many years. Until things became a problem, I just kind of act like there was no problem.
Yeah.
And so, I found myself in 2000, around 2000, I don't know, I'd say 19-ish. I had crossed over into the 400 and plus weight range. So I had been gaining I was 280 pounds 25 years ago, or 21 years ago, 22 years ago, whenever I got married. And, I was 19 years old. So I've been overweight my whole entire life. But one thing led to another, and like I said, I was working EMS, emergent service. I was on an ambulance every day, and I just could not do my job. And in 2019, I ended up losing my job just because I couldn't perform the duties that were required of me. I was
Wow.
454 over 400 pounds. At my biggest, I was at least 457 pounds. I had been put on 3 different blood pressure medications because I had hypertension. I had gout. I had sleep apnea. I was depressed, anxiety, PTSD. I had shingles like 2 or 3 different times, and talk about painful. I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I had all kind of issues that just one thing right after the other. So, nevertheless, 2019, I lost my job. For the next 3 years, I ended up just getting worse and worse and worse, and just laying around on the couch. I couldn't work. I couldn't walk. I could barely take a shower without sitting on the side of the tub. And so I just took life as it was handed to me, made excuses for why I couldn't do better, couldn't make better decisions, whatever. And I would lay on the couch and I would watch my phone, look at YouTube like, so many folks do. And I couldn't do much else. And I just sank deeper and deeper and deeper into that depression. And, anybody who's been depressed knows that, if you're going through it, or a lot of people don't realize how you got there, because it's usually a slow creep over a long time versus an instantaneous. You don't wake up in the darkest, deepest depression typically. So that's where I was at. 3 years, that's where I spent. Anyway, I got to watching my phone one night and came across an old interview with Joe Rogan talking with Rhonda Patrick about the carnivore diet. And it just stuck in my head for whatever reason. And I didn't have the money to get on a program. I didn't have the motivation I couldn't work out. I couldn't eat less and move more. So what they were saying about the carnivore diet really intrigued me, and it stuck with me. And things just, I didn't instantaneously just start carnivore, but it was in my head at least. And I just kept going down and down and down into that depression. And one day, man, honestly, I'm a man of faith, so I got to praying. God, if you can't get me out of this hole that I'm in, there's no way for me to get out. I'm at a loss for, I'm ready to end my life because I cannot continue to live life this way. It was
Wow.
too heavy. The burden was too heavy. It was too much. And I had just been circling and circling and circling for so long that I was ready to give up. And I got to, after that carnivore conversation that Joe and Rhonda was having, I was like, well, let me think about this. Let me look into this a little bit more, some research. So I looked it up on YouTube, and the first person I come across was this crazy doctor who spent over 20 years as a ER physician, who should absolutely know better than to tell people that beef, butter, bacon, and eggs can cure their health problems. Dr. Barry is, I have so much love and respect for the man, like going against the grain and just the stand that he takes and takes a hard concept and makes it so simple,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I needed at the time. I didn't need a whole 25-step program. I didn't need a subscription to this club, or I didn't need this litany of supplements. I didn't need somebody to send me my food. I needed to get honest with myself and something simple. And that's exactly what he was sharing that day. And so that's how I came across it. That's how I came to it. And we can go further into it later if more if you'd
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you started eating carnivore, was it like a switch? Like, okay, now I heard Dr. Barry and tomorrow I'm eating steak, or did you transition gradually, or how did that go for you?
well, whenever I heard him talking about it, I said, I don't know if I could. I wasn't a big meat guy, honestly. I mean, I ate hamburgers, cheeseburgers like
Yeah.
everybody else. I had chicken and whatever, but I would not. I would absolutely go to a steakhouse and order a cheeseburger with French fries over a steak. Like
Okay.
that was just me.
Yeah, yeah.
I could take it or leave it. But listening to him, I said, man, I don't know if I can do just meat. I've never done that before, and I've never been big on it, but I'm willing to give it a try. So I tried it for 1 month in October of 2021, and it
Okay.
was extremely dirty. I still had sauces and some of the stuff that has lots of sugar in it that I didn't realize. But it was so drastically different from the standard American diet that I was used to eating that it made me feel a certain way, different, better, way better. And I said, man, this is absolutely what I got to do. But I know that it's October, I've got Halloween candy, I've got Thanksgiving. Who doesn't look forward to Thanksgiving meals with like you will recruit family members so that you can have another dinner at Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
Like we all do, right?
Yes.
So I knew there was no way that I am going to stick to any plan of eating or diet or whatever through Halloween,
The
Thanksgiving,
holidays.
Christmas, New Year's. My birthday's January 12th, so
Oh, so
all
tack
those
that
things.
right on. That's part of it.
Yeah, that just
Early.
gets you from yeah, that just gets you from Christmas over to Valentine's
No,
Day.
it's
You
Valentine's Day.
know,
That's what I was just
you
gonna say.
know, I am making up holidays to try to delay this. You see, so I
Yeah.
did it for October. It was really great, but I kicked that can down the road, and finally, for whatever reason, I started. Whatever happened in October started wearing off, and I'm like, I'm starting to get depressed again. I'm starting to go back into this lump. You know, I've got to change. Enough's enough. And on April the 17th, 2022, is
Okay.
the day that I always refer to as the day that changed my life. There's nothing special about the day. There's nothing, that I'm aware of that triggered me for that day. It just happened to be the day that I said, I have had enough of living life this way, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm either going to change my life
Mhm.
or it's over. I'm done. I can't continue living this way. And I grabbed a hold of carnivore from that day, and I have never looked back.
Wow. Wow. That's an amazing story. It's almost like the opposite of mine in a lot of ways, but that's so cool because we ended up like look at us now. We're in the same place, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Because for me, I wasn't that overweight and I didn't know how mentally like sick I was. I didn't know I had anxiety. I didn't know I had brain fog. Like you knew it. You were in it and you knew it and you knew you were miserable.
Hmm.
I was miserable, but I didn't know I was miserable. I just thought, oh, I'm an introvert and everyone's tired. I'm middle aged and we're just all tired. And that's how it is.
You just
And yeah, and then I went keto first, heavy meat keto because of Dr. Barry, right? I'm not this isn't about me, so I'll just be brief here, but because of Dr. Barry. And then I just sort of like meat. So not like you. I'm like, give me all the ribeye and I don't need that broccoli anyways. And then when I got rid of everything but the meat, that's when I went, oh my gosh, like I had anxiety and now I don't. Like I had brain fog and now I don't. I was exhausted and now I'm not. I used to not sleep and now I do. Like what is happening?
it's amazing what you learn to live with and
Yes.
consider normal
Yes.
when and without realizing it. The
Yep.
pain you live with, the thoughts you live with, the aches and the pains and the issues. A lot of people probably suffer from more issues than they even realize because they're so caught up in it. And
Yep.
the big ones are obvious, right? But it's the
Right.
little ones, the other ones that you're like, man, I never realized I had this issue
Hmm.
until I got better from it. And then
Yep.
looking back, you're like, I cannot believe I never noticed that I had this problem and it was causing this, and this. But here
Yep.
I am.
Yep. I know. And mine ranged from like physical, just little things. Like I used to get acne on my chin, and I just thought, well, it's like hormonal or something. No, that's gone. I haven't had any since June, since I went carnivore. Like, what? Like, my skin is
Nice.
totally clear. My hand used to ache. I just thought, oh, it's from all the writing. And as a teacher, like, it doesn't ache anymore. Like, every single day, my feet and ankles would swell up, and I just thought, well, I guess I'm just getting old. Like, I don't know, but they don't swell anymore. It's just, you just accept these things as I'm just getting older, and that's what it is. I just turned 48 a few days ago, and I really feel like I'm getting better. Like, I'm getting better every day. I get better. Like, whereas before, from who knows when, it was definitely going downhill. And that's what everybody says. Everybody makes jokes about it, like, oh, after, I've even heard people say after 30, like, once you turn 30, just all downhill from there. And man, no, it isn't.
Right. Well, happy birthday. Happy late
Oh,
birthday
yeah,
at
thank you.
48.
Yeah, the big four
Congratulations.
eight. Yeah.
Hopefully the next 48 are even
Yes.
better than the last 48.
Yes,
And
that's what I feel like. Like, the second half of my life is going to be 100 times better than the first, and just
well,
getting better every day.
it's amazing to see so many of the people in this space even being able to testify and give an account to them feeling better than they did when they were 20, or better than they ever have in their whole life. I mean, it's amazing the difference that it can make. And you think that, well, I'm just getting old, well, I have to settle for the aches and the pains, but there's
Mm-hmm.
so many that are in their 70s and 80s even, who are testifying, look, man, I feel like I'm 20 years old again, this is amazing. And it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I just saw this question pop up, so I clicked it real quick before it disappeared, because you know how that goes when you're looking for those questions. So Carnivorous Dude is asking, well, I guess he's doing a water fast. He's asking if we've ever done one and if we have any tips.
I haven't actually done a water fast. The longest I've fasted is about 36 hours, and it was August of last year when I went and did my very first YouTube debut, I guess you could call it, with Larry from Carnivore Quest. I love Larry and Cassie at Carnivore Quest. They're like family to me. After Dr. Barry, I found my way into Carnivore Quest community, and
Awesome.
we became like family. And so I went down and did a video with him in August of last year. Before I had never even dreamed of doing a YouTube at that time. But he did. He's been doing it for a while, quite a while. And I was like, yeah, I'll come share my story with you. And for whatever reason, I just didn't eat the whole time, and
Mm-hmm.
until we ate together that day. But I haven't done a fast. I can't really give you any tips on it as far other than you know do what you can do, man. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. I've never been great at fasting. I think I tried to do a 48-hour fast. I may have made it to 45 or 46. I've never gotten to that point that people say they get to where they just feel great, like euphoric or whatever. No, I'm just starving. And so I just learned to sort of listen to my body. But also, I will say, I wasn't like, I don't have your story, right? Like, I had 20 pounds to lose. Yes, it was the same 20 pounds that I gained and lost 86 times. I don't really know how many times. A lot of times. So if you add up all the times I lost 20 pounds, yeah, I've lost over 100. But I think that's part of it too, is I don't have a ton of, body fat, and that wasn't part of my story. But what I've heard people say is that salts will help, you know, um, that's what I've heard people say. Other than that, I'm sorry. I wish I had more advice for you. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, like, okay, so you've been carnivore for a while now, like over a year by what you were just telling, like about a year and a half or so. So how has your way of eating changed at all? Like, has it sort of evolved over that last year and a half? Like, how did it look when you first started versus how it looks now?
Absolutely, yeah. So when I first started, I was told by Dr. Barry that I could eat until I was full and satiated. So I took him at his word. And so I would eat 3 times a day, as much as I could eat. And eventually, after about a month and a half, somewhere in there, I started getting satiated. and I got meat aversion. I didn't want to see any more meat. I was sick of it. I could not stand to look at it. I call it the wall of doom. Some people call it, meat aversion, whatever you want to call it. I didn't want any. And so I started looking into the fasting like he was talking about. Instead of doing like extended fasting, though, I did intermittent fasting. I was like, man, I can't eat 3 meals a day every day. This is just too much. So I cut back to 2 meals a day, and I went to MAD, and that was good. And eventually, I'll even cut back and tried OMAD, tried 1 meal a day. I cannot eat more than enough to keep me satiated all the time whenever I eat 1 meal a day. So I eat 2 meals a day. And I've tried to do OMAD twice, and I've made it about 3 weeks each time. For whatever reason, I start not feeling as good, and whenever that happens, I go back to eating 2 meals a day. For about the last month and a half, I was eating 3 meals a day again. I went from 2 meals back to 3 meals. I really do listen to my body. When my body tells me it wants energy, I give it to it. When it tells me it's had enough, I've had enough. If I'm not hungry, I don't care what time it is. It doesn't matter. And I know that a lot of people have, jobs and situations to where they have to eat when they can, those kinds of things. But our bodies are designed in such a way that like our bodies will tell us when it needs it, and trying to have your body take nutrients whenever it doesn't want it and not giving it to it when it does want it, that's an issue I feel like that we got to work on a little better. So I don't know. I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I feel like I can't believe how much my body talks to me now. Like it tells me, like no joke. I mostly do not eat breakfast. I mostly am not hungry. But in September, I took on a sprint challenge, and I was doing Dr. Shawn O'Mara's, sprint protocol. I mean, sort of. I overdid it. I did it every day in September, but I found that when I was doing that, some days there were about 3 or 4 days in there where I ate breakfast because I was hungry. So I made some bacon and eggs. And then on some of those days I ate lunch, and on some of those days I didn't. It just depended. And then dinner. But I'm with you. I usually do 2 MADs. So I'll eat like a smaller lunch because I'm at school and I'm teaching, and it's like not convenient to take a big steak or whatever. So that's when I do my eggs, and then for dinner I'll have my ribeye or my picanha is my absolute favorite. But you're right. Ribeyes and picanhas, my favorite meat. But if I'm not hungry, it sounds like the most it sounds so gross. Like it sounds disgusting. But then the next day, it's give me all the picanha, right? When my body wants it, it wants it. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
I used to tell people in the group, even before I started YouTube. See, I started working last May. Larry and Cassie made me the moderator in their Carnivore Quest Facebook group.
Okay.
And so I've been kind of working with people, which is really what led to me starting a YouTube, because I was content with just continuing in that role. There's a lot of good friendships that I was able to make, and people that I have worked with and got to know and have followed me, and I followed them ever since my journey started. And so like I was working with those people, and like I would see that they would start out, and then they would say, I can't keep doing this because of the meat just looks horrible to me, and that would push them back. And I'm like, listen, you got to listen to your body. If it doesn't look good, just fast from it for a little bit,
Yep.
Don't force yourself, because if you try to force protein and fat when your body doesn't want it, you're going to make yourself sick.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to overeat protein and fat for that matter. If you overeat fat, you're going to be, I know from experience with me anyway, if I overeat fat, I will know it because I will be in the restroom most of the day. And if I overeat protein, I just feel that sick feeling. And so I have to listen to my body more.
Yes.
But when I'm also at that point too, where I don't have a lot of fat on me anymore. I do still have some, but not as much as I did have. So when my body gets hungry now and sends those signals, it's saying, listen, I need some energy. if you don't give it to me, we're going to sleep. We're gonna rest on you. And I
Yep.
start feeling bad.
Yep. I hear you. And I'm at the point now, it's like you're right with the fat. Like I'll be in the bathroom if I have too much, but if my body needs some, I'll get a craving. I call it bite butter. Like I'll get a craving for that sweet, sweet bite butter and I'll just go take a bite of that. And boy, does that give just me energy. Like if I need it, I'm like, that sounds good. If I don't need it, it doesn't sound appealing at all, So it's just crazy. And I just wanted to point out, Nikki and Gary here, we have some new carnivore friends on day 8, Shawn. Do you remember day 8? Like day 8. Like, let's go, Nikki and Gary. If you need anything, I know Shawn, his channel, my channel, anybody's channel, shout us out, ask us your questions because we've been where you are. But yes, keep on going. As Les Jump More Health says, keep on carnivore. You will not regret it. If you keep up with it, you will not regret it. And look, I got Kip's attention. Hi, Kip. I
Big
do
Kip.
love picanha. Yes. Yes. Picanha is my favorite. Kip, I make one every single Saturday. And that's my food for the weekend. Like the whole roast is mine. I don't let my husband touch it. I would share. And Kip, I got my first cast iron. My first cast iron, Kip. So, and I watched your video on how to take care of it. So there you go.
He's changing the world. Hope you're doing all right tonight, brother.
I hope so too, Kip. So I wanted to ask you about exercise. That's something that I started incorporating, like I said, in September. Are you incorporating any exercise? And if so, what are you doing? Have you seen benefits? Like, how's that going for you?
I have, and I do now more so than ever before, really. Whenever like I said, when I first started out, I couldn't stand for longer than about 30 seconds. People who've heard my story have heard me say it many times. I would start going numb around my sciatic nerve and my hips, from my hips down to the back of my legs. So after about 20 to 30 seconds of standing on my feet and trying to walk around, I would just go numb. And if I didn't sit down, once it got so bad, I would just fall. I couldn't stand up.
Wow.
And so it would literally hurt. And so I didn't do a whole lot of walking. And when I finally started walking, I've got my house. My house is not this house. This is a green screen.
Right.
All right. My house, I tell people all the time, my house, I can fit inside this little fireplace. Well, let's see if I can point to it. This fireplace right here. It's about 1,400 square feet, something like that. When I first started walking, I would walk from the couch to the back bedroom of my house, which is, I don't know, 25, 30 feet maybe. And I would touch the door, and it's my daughter's room at the end of the hall. I would touch the door, and I would go back to the couch. And I would see, my first goal, I remember it very vividly. I was like, I'm going to start walking because I missed walking. Now, a lot of people may see this video or see this interview, and they think, big deal. So what? You walk. Well, you don't realize how amazing it is to be able to walk until you can't do it anymore and you feel like crap, because if you have to park further out than the handicap spot at the store, you can't make it to the door without about passing out. That was where I was living. So I didn't go to the store. I didn't go to Walmart. I didn't go to the gas station. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed at home. And therefore, all those situations and everything I was going to got isolated and worse. Because I isolated, I wouldn't go anywhere because I couldn't. And nevertheless, so I couldn't work out. But when I finally did start carnivore, after about a month and a half to 2 months, I started having so much energy that I wanted to do something. And I was like, there's a church, it's probably, you could see it from my front porch. And I would sit on my front porch and I would look at that church. And I told my wife, I said, I am going to walk over there and touch that door of that church one day. And I think a couple of days later, maybe the next day or so, I sent her a picture. I walked over and took a picture of me touching the door of that church and sent it to her. And I was like, tomorrow I'm doing 2. and I went over there and touched it twice. And then it became like this thing for me. I'm like, look, one 1% better every day is what my buddy semi-retired Bob says.
Love that
1% better every day. One better decision. It doesn't matter if you took 10 steps today, take 11 tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you took 12 today, take 13 tomorrow. That's how it started with me. Just pushing just one more step, one more thing. And it doesn't have to be fast and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. And so that's kind of how I got started with my working out. And now I put in 7 to 10 miles a day every single day. I work out
Oh,
45 minutes. I've been actually doing a challenge with my group. We undertook the 75 hard challenge. We're on day 30 something or another, 6, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. And that we started September the 11th. So
okay.
however many days it's been since September the 11th.
Okay.
And so I do two 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside.
Okay.
Both of them can be. You drink a gallon of water every day, which I've drank probably. I started out last year. I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Just because, I think it was because of my diabetes. I don't know. I've always drank a lot. And you
Hmm.
got to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every single day. You got to take a picture of yourself, and you have to stick to a diet of your choice.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're far I was like proud of myself because I'm just taking on challenges, but you're killing it with the challenges. I did the sprinting in September and I liked it so much. I'm still sprinting in a more sane level. So about every other day. And this month I took on push-ups and squats. So I will tell you that on October the 1st, I could do a whole 2 push-ups, Shawn, 2 push-ups. And before sprinting, I could do 0. So sprinting did give me some muscle. This morning I did 7. So
Nice,
one
nice.
percent better every day. So I'm up to 7. My goal for the end of October is 10. We'll see. I have 7 more days to get 3 more.
I bet you could do it now. I bet you can
So
do it now.
yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing. Just taking on a new challenge every month, and yeah, the physical benefits are there. Like I'm seeing muscles I didn't used to see. The sprinting is crazy with the muscle gain that I've gotten.
It is.
It's I can't. It's weird to think about you're sprinting, but that's putting muscle on your body. But it's real, and but like the mental benefits, like the fact that I'm doing this
Hmm.
every day, and then I'm also doing this with other people. So the sprint thing I was doing by myself, until my friend Rhonda at Carnivore Leo, I found out she's also sprinting. So I was like, oh, I'm not alone. So then I was like, this was so cool that I put the challenge out there for October. And there's a bunch of us, like Carnivorous Grandma Robin, she's doing
Hmm.
squats. Anita, a kid
Nice.
woman, she's doing squats with me. Mr. Mike Shaw TV is doing squats with me, and a bunch of other people. So it's like, hey, just come on, let's do it. Let's do it together. We keep each other
That
accountable, and it makes
that's
it like a tribe, like a group, kind of like what you were saying. You've got your whole group doing that.
Absolutely.
So,
That's awesome. I actually talked to Sean O'Mara. I wanted to have him on. He's been doing some stuff in the group with Bella and them, and Steak and Butter Gang. And after he
okay.
gets done with that, he said he'd come on the channel. But he's got that sprint protocol, which is really good, man. He's saying short term burst of energy. It makes a huge difference, other than just going out and trying to run marathons and
Yeah.
such.
I can, so, okay, this is like not medical information. This is just anecdotal information. Okay. But my husband happens to be a massage therapist. And sometimes he'll have like techniques that he needs to like learn and practice and whatever. So he hadn't given me a massage in a while, but like after I sprinted for that month, he could feel a difference in the muscles. He's like, it used to just be like mushy. He didn't say mushy. That would have been mean. I'm terrible. He didn't call me mushy, you guys. But now he says that
he
he can feel like it feels muscular in my legs where it didn't before. So I'm like, that was a month. Like in a month, it made that much difference. I also lost 2 inches off of my waist, hips, and thighs in September.
Nice, nice. That's
So,
that's that's awesome.
I mean, come
And
on.
I and
And
I
my,
know he's smarter
what
than to
else you
call you
got?
mushy.
I'm sorry, what? He
I
was
said I
smart.
know he's smarter too smart to call you mushy.
Oh yeah, he would not. He would not. I called myself mushy.
He probably knows like I do. He likes staying married and happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, hopefully. So yes, he did not say that. I said that. But I will tell you that, yeah, it's just the benefits from doing that alone. You know, that's what motivated me. Like, let's go, let's keep doing that, and then add something else for October, and let's get some more people involved with this because, yeah, it's just so cool. So,
Well,
how
I
about
noticed
you?
too. Oh, I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry.
what? No, no, go
No,
ahead.
I said I've noticed too. I actually not just walking, but like going to the gym after being carnivore for a year and a half. Like my muscles, they change so quickly. Like I went for 1 week and I could already tell like an amazing difference just in the shape and the like the way my arms and legs and stuff look. It was amazing. I'm like, is this all in my head? So I'm asking my wife, I'm asking my
Yeah.
kid, like, is it different?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can tell a difference, you know?
So I will say, so you probably, Shawn, being a male, don't know about this, but some of us women are pear shaped, and I'm one of those. So my upper body will change, and I will see changes there way before my lower body. So, but I will say that after I started working out, my husband said to me that my arms are starting to look like the chick on Terminator. And I was
Uh
like,
oh.
all right, I'll take it. I
You're
will
gonna be
take
taking on Skynet.
Yeah, pretty soon. Just wait, and I have the energy to do it.
That's right. That's what's
But
up.
yeah, I'm with you on the. Yeah, I definitely see a difference in my, like, 50, or I'm 48, should not, we're not really supposed to be able to put on muscle. That no, we can, because I am, and
Hmm.
visibly so. I think so. So does anyone else in your family eat carnivore with you? Are you just kind of the lone wolf over there, or does your whole family kind of follow your way of eating too now?
So, nobody did when I started this. We were all extremely skeptical, even myself, you know. However, after a year, so in May is when my wife started.
Okay.
My wife started in May, and she's seen some great benefits as well. She's lost about 20, 25 pounds right in there. She didn't really need to lose any. She's always been little bitty, you know. But she has lost about 20, 25 pounds. My mom eats this way. My brother eats this way. My brother and sister in law all eat this way now. They saw such a dramatic change over the last year and a half in my life that they were like, hold up, we need to check this out. And so I honestly, I never even told my wife she needs to do this. Like, I wasn't like, hey, sweetie, you need to do this. Da, 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 da. I was so literally trying to better my life and get my health under control because I know that if I can get my health right, then I can be a husband, then I can be a father, then I can be a son, then I can be functioning properly in the role that I am supposed to be functioning in. And so I was trying my best to focus on transforming my life, getting my head right, getting my health right. And I would tell her all the stuff that I was learning and whatnot. We're extremely close and open and talk about everything. But
Hmm.
I'll never was like, hey, sweetie, why don't you need to do this? You need to do this. I was just sharing it with her and she saw it and wanted it. And that's why I'm such a big advocate for us being an example because I promise you, the way that this changes your life and everything that revolves around your life, I assure you that people looking on from the outside are going to see those dramatic changes in your life and they may be opposed to it at first, but they will absolutely want to be you. They will want to know what you have before long, before it's over.
It doesn't take long. I've literally had 3 or 4 people at work ask me, "What are you doing? You look great. Your skin is glowing. Like, you've lost 20 pounds. You're happy all the
Hmm.
time. Like, what is going on?" So yeah, it doesn't take long for people to notice, and they'll start asking you for sure. Now they think it's crazy when you tell them, "Well, all I eat is meat."
Oh
I
yeah.
I had an appointment with my doctor for the first time since I started doing any of this. Like, I started heavy meat keto in February. And I'm pretty sure I'm the first carnivore she's ever met because she was like, I mean, she knew keto, right? She knew that. And first of all, she thinks
Mm-hmm.
it's a horrible idea, but she did not scold me. And she said, hey, I believe that different things can work for different people. And, if that's, she wasn't like telling me I got to get off of it. She wasn't, I didn't have to fire her yet. We'll see when my blood work comes back. I should be getting blood work back. So we'll see. But when she literally was like, wait, you don't eat any fruits or vegetables. And I was like, nope. And she goes, fascinating. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm the first one who's met. She couldn't believe it. So
Right.
yeah, that was it was an interesting visit. I'll tell you that. So yeah, paw beater. And I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but yeah, I told the guy at work about adding extra butter for energy and now I'm his friend for life.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes, bite butter. It's a thing, I'm telling you.
Oh
And,
yeah. I will
carnivorous.
walk by the. I'll walk by the refrigerator, sometimes, close to bedtime, or if I'm hungry but I don't know what I want and meat
Yep,
doesn't look good, but my
yep.
body's saying I'm kind of hungry, I'll grab a stick of butter and take a big bite, and
Oh
it
yeah,
usually does the trick.
it totally does the trick. And yeah, I have it's like it's the Kerrygold, but it comes in a tub, so it's a little bit softer, but it's still just the cream and salt, and you can just scoop that right out on a spoon, and I'm like, eat it.
Mm,
It's so good.
so good, and it's
Uh,
so sweet. It almost tastes like candy used to me. It's so weird
yes.
how your taste changes.
Yes, yes. So carnivorous dude, I'm gonna check it out. He says he's making daily shorts about what I eat. I think that's really important. You guys, little did I know, I'm quoting my friend JT. Little did I know, that I'd be having my own channel. Like that wouldn't have been a thing. I was way too shy.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have talked to you. I would have been on my couch, just like buried in my phone somewhere. But and I I'm making videos about what I cook. Like I'm not a cook or a chef. I think I say it in every video. And in every video, there's a bunch of comments about you did that wrong. I'm like, I know I did. I know I did. But people want to know. Like people are like, well, I don't understand. How do you not get bored? Like, what do you eat every day? People ask me. So I'm like, okay, well, this is what I do. Take it or leave it. But here it is.
Right.
So here I
Also,
am, making cooking
some
videos.
some people are just they have to be, they're caught up in it, so everything's negative to them.
Yeah.
They give it to me too. I'm like, well, that's cool, I must be doing something right.
That's right.
I feel great. I've reversed all. I'm off of all my medications except for the testosterone, and hopefully be coming off of it pretty soon.
Yep.
And I feel amazing. And I mean, apparently I'm doing something right. So
That's right. I know my
it
doctor
is
was
what it
like, I
is.
cannot argue with the way you look. She said this, not me. She goes, you do not look 48. She goes, you have all this energy. You're telling me you're sleeping better. She can clearly see I've lost the 20 pounds. She goes, I can't argue with any of that. So yeah, I mean, what else are they going to say? Right. So Kip, this is making me so happy. So he says he's starting back today after a slip up. Kip, we are all with you, buddy. So much love to you, Kip. And you just keep right on going.
Yeah, don't make me come to Alabama, boy. Get your head
Welcome to
right.
Alabama. I will come to Alabama from California.
That's
Kip, if
that's
you
right.
need me, my friend.
We'll have a convening on the little town near you in Alabama, son. Get it together. I
And
love Kip, man. He's doing so good, man. He's lost so much. He's lost 100 pounds himself since
yeah, he
January.
has.
So
Yeah, he has. Yep, yep. So this goes back a minute, but you're talking about touching that church door. That is a heck of a goal, man. Just touch the door at the church. So good.
mhm.
Sorry, I'm just looking through the comments. I'm looking for any questions. If I don't see any, I have questions. And a lot of people are encouraging Kip, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And this one is going to you. I am not monetized yet, so I know that's yours. But since
Oh,
it's a super chat or whatever, I'm going to put up there. So being the example is incredibly inspiring. Great to see y'all. Thanks, Allison.
thank thank you, Allison. I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you very much, my friend. That's
And
awesome.
Mike says, I can't get bored with carnivore meals because I don't eat for pleasure. I take pleasure from life. That's right. Like I enjoy
Hmm.
my food, but my food doesn't bring me joy, you
Oh,
know?
absolutely. It doesn't
So
have to revolve. How nice is it to be able to think about the people that you're spending the time with versus what you're going to be eating when you get with these people?
that's right.
You
And it
spend so much time planning the food. I mean, a lot of people still do the food. There's nothing wrong with food. However, make the main thing the main thing. Make the fellowship with your family the priority versus spending all that time slaving over the 4 course meal when it's the time together is where the life is made at, right?
yes. Yes, 100%. So, and Paul Beater said, I did get the pronunciation right. And this is next on my list. I'm telling you, I'm going to make these. I just need the little molds to put them in. Brown butter bites. Paul Beater, let me know if you've made them with the whipped brown butter, because that I heard is really good. Let me know. I'm going to be trying that out. So, what do you say to critics of this way of eating who say that it's unsustainable, that it's not a sustainable way to be? What do you say to them?
I would say that our bodies. It depends on the mood I'm in. Honestly, I might get sideways a little bit. I don't know. Usually I don't go in too hard with critics just because I don't want to get my focus off. But they say it's not sustainable. You look at folks like Kelly Hogan, who's been doing it 15, 20 years. Look at even, some of the athlete like Dr. Baker. He's been doing it, what, 6, 7, 8 years now and performing at such a high level. You got Chafee, who's been doing it. The guy's a professional rugby player, and he knows how to be in tip top shape. He knows the science. These guys know the science. They're living the life. They're performing. Look at Amara and all these different people in different specialties. Promoting this way and giving credibility and giving testimony to it. However, I could just look at my own story and tell you that my labs, from what they were to now, have done nothing but improve every single time I've got them checked. Every time. And the way that I feel has gotten nothing but better ever since I started eating this way. And so many other areas. So sustainable. What am I going to do? Like, our bodies can only have so many macronutrients: carbohydrates, alcohol, fat, protein, right? So
Yep.
if I'm eliminating the carbohydrates and sugars and seed oils and all the toxic stuff that's produced in a factory somewhere or in a field, plants, whatnot, and I'm still giving myself the fat and the protein, how is that not sustainable?
Yeah.
It does. It's not even logical to think that it's not sustainable. All of our ancestors would have eaten fat and protein primarily because they didn't have Kellogg's in 2000 BC. Okay,
Right.
they didn't have Kraft Company. They didn't. You couldn't swing by a Walmart Supercenter or the Lowe's Supercenter and pick
Mm-hmm.
up your groceries on the way home. So they ate what they could grow or what they could raise or whatnot. So it's definitely sustainable, and not only is it sustainable, but it's optimal for our bodies.
Yeah. What are you gonna? What am I gonna do? Go back? Like, how was I feeling before? Exhausted, no energy, mentally drained, anxious about like being around people and life, and just even going to the store seemed like overwhelming to me. As well as all my physical symptoms, which were nothing like yours. I never got to the point of like diabetes or anything, but I got, I wasn't eating, I was eating pretty low carb. And even when I was doing keto, now some people can do great on keto. I am not bashing keto. My mom is heavy meat keto. She is 71. She was on her walk. She has 15,000 steps a day. Like, she outdoes me. The other day she's walking. She texts me. She's like, yeah, I was walking. And then I just like jogged to the corner because I felt like jogging. Okay, mom, get it, right? Like, she's doing
Nice.
awesome. I would not take away her vegetables. I'm just saying, for me, when I got rid of them, that's when all the mental symptoms just like improve. So what am I going to do? Go back? Like, I don't want to
Right.
go back.
Oh, I'm
So
not going back. I am not going back.
yeah.
That's a fact.
And yeah. And then low carb carnivore says Maggie has been doing it her whole life. Yeah. Look at Maggie. If you haven't seen any of those videos with Carrie at Homestead How, going to visit Maggie in Canada. She's 82 years old and she's like throwing like hay bales and stuff. Like, okay.
I saw her with Chafee. Chafee was up there what 2 or 3 months ago, and
Yeah.
she was doing it, man.
Yeah. So, absolutely. Um, so this is a question that I had for you. What do you, because you work with a lot of people. So, like, what do you think are the most common misconceptions about our way of eating? Like, what are the most things that people don't get right?
The common misconceptions from outside
Yes, that's
of
what I mean.
this way of eating. Let me think. So as far like I think the most common misconception going into this, like I'll take for my own example. When I was coming into learning about this, the first thing that stuck out to me was, oh my gosh, is he saying being in ketoacidosis is gonna be a good thing? Like, and now, like I said, I spent 12 years as a med. I'm like, that's I don't know what this guy's talking about. Everybody I've ever seen in ketoacidosis, like I'm trying to give them fluids to stabilize their their blood sugar, is through the roof. They're in ketoacidosis. It's
Hmm.
not ketoacidosis, it's ketosis. And
Right,
so just because it sounds the same doesn't mean it's the same thing, okay?
right, right.
And your body functions amazing on ketones. So understanding the science doesn't mean that it's going to work any less. You should study. I encourage everybody to study the science behind it. But even if you don't study the science, if you may be out there right now and you take people's word for it and you just want to try it and tell us how you study your body and how it makes you feel. You
Yes.
know, a lot of misconceptions. Another big one is people think that they get to decide where their body can tolerate on the spectrum of the ketogenic spectrum. I decide that I'm gonna be X. I'm gonna be, keto, or I'm gonna be ketovore, or I'm gonna be beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. It's all fine and well if you can live with what you're giving yourself, but your body already knows where you are.
Hmm.
Just because you can't dictate where you land on the spectrum because of your addictions. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't let your addictions be the thing that keeps you from seeing the results and the health that you could have because you can't break those addictions. That's the main thing. I've seen that a lot within the community, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
about misconceptions.
Yeah. And like for myself, for example, with chicken, I'll just use chicken. So I like chicken. I can eat chicken. Chicken doesn't make me feel bad if I eat chicken. But if I
Hmm.
eat chicken and only chicken, I'm be hungry in 2 hours. I'll tell you that. Even
Hmm.
the chicken thigh with the skin on. So I've just learned that if I'm gonna eat that chicken, I better put some beef with it. Unless I want to eat again in 2 hours. If I want to do that, then maybe I'll have some chicken. But just for me, it doesn't keep me satiated the way beef does. So yeah,
Hmm.
like I hear what you're saying, and that's kind of how it is for me. That's kind of why I'm mostly beef, butter, bacon, egg. It's not because I'm anti-chicken or anti-pork. I just made pork ribs the other day in my Instant Pot. They were delicious. But if I did that all the time, I would also I wouldn't satiate me. Like I would be hungry.
Hmm.
So
And
I throw a few things in for variety, but I got to listen to my body. If I eat a steak, I'm good for 18 hours. you know?
oh yeah. And the other thing too, the other misconceptions, like somebody else, and even it kind of jog my memory, Beth talking about the heart disease and the cholesterol.
Mhm.
The other big one too is like the red meat causes kidney problems. My
Yes.
dad would not eat red meat because his doctor told him to stay away from it because he had stage 3 kidney failure.
Hmm.
And I was like, Dad, I was like, think about what is even being said. I was like, you're not allergic to red meat. I was like, your body has to have fat and protein to stay alive. You know, giving yourself protein is not going to destroy your kidneys. Matter of fact, if you give yourself fat and protein and only fat and protein, there's a good chance that you can come back out of that stage 3 kidney failure. Many people have testified it may not go all the way back down to, eliminating kidney disease,
Yeah.
kidney failure. But there have been plenty of people who went from stage 4 to stage 3, or stage 3 to stage 1, or
Yep.
whatever. And
Yep.
so that is definitely a big misconception. The misconception of the cholesterol, man. People worried about having high cholesterol and being having to go on a statin. Like, we don't understand I don't know how many times we can say it, but like all the lab values that we go to the doctor, even you and I go to the
Mhm.
doctor and get, are based off of studies and recommended lab values for people who eat the standard American diet, not
Yeah.
people who don't take those carbs and sugars in and seed oils. So
Yep.
those lab values are basically no good for us.
Right. Well, not only that, but how many of those people that they base those on were sick? And you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like it's an average or whatever. Well, half of those people probably had some disease of one kind or another. Like I don't want my results to be, to be based on like my optimal results should not be based on a sick person or a
Right.
group of sick people. So yeah.
Right.
What Mike is saying here is yes, we were talking about this a second ago, is that the thing that is unsustainable is being sick. Yes. Like most people on the SAD diet, being healthy and feeling the best is sustainable 100%. People will say to me, well, don't you get bored eating meat, or like, isn't that restrictive? No. What's restrictive is living in brain fog, not being able to put one foot
Mm-hmm.
in front of the other when I'm in my 20s, 20 years ago, and I can barely like think straight because I'm starving myself and I'm hungry all the time and I'm miserable and I'm, then binging on sugar and going back and forth, and I was miserable. I have way more energy now than I did then. So what's
Mm-hmm.
restrictive is brain fog, anxiety, lack of sleep. That's restrictive, right? So to
What
me, I mean, yeah, what do you want your life to be like? What's the quality of life you want to have?
restrictive for me is being stuck on that couch while my family's off living life and celebrating each other and spending time together and creating memories, and I'm stuck on the couch feeling sorry for myself, living with the excuses that I put in place my entire life. That's restrictive.
Yeah.
What's restrictive is not being able to get up and go work a job and support your family. What's restrictive is being tangled up in your own depression and captivity and depression and anxiety and feeling in the dumps and not caring if you wake up the next morning. That's restrictive.
Hmm.
If I have to, eat one thing every single day for every single meal, I'm good with that. What I'm not good with is letting my family live life without me. Let my kids grow up without me. Let my wife have to go through this life being married. That y'all see that?
Look at that. I saw that. That was cool.
Did you
I didn't know
see
that was
the?
a thing. I did. That was a thumbs up right on your face, man.
That's happened the other day. I don't know what causes that, but
Is that
like
from
it's
Twitter?
pretty.
Somebody's thumbs upping you on. I mean, I don't know because I've never seen it on YouTube. This is my first Twitter experience here.
You
So
start me to
hi,
lie.
Twitter people.
It just completely wrecked my brain, my thought train of thought. But
Oh,
like,
you were talking
yeah,
about your kids, your kids growing up without you. Basically, that's
yeah.
restricted.
Yeah, I appreciate the comment, brother. Mike's got a good
Hmm.
channel too, but
Yeah.
absolutely, that's what's restrictive. Restricting my mind to think that I have to get the leftovers of life. I'm tired of the leftovers of life. I'm ready to thrive. I'm ready to live optimally. I'm ready to live life, period, and not just let life pass me by. If we're gonna do something in this life, you don't get to choose to do it tomorrow or next week or next month. You only have right now, today.
That's right.
So if you're going to do something, today is the day. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't put it off. None of us are promised tomorrow.
Yep. So, Jake, I hear you. I mean, I'm not in this exact same situation. I'm the only one in well, other than my mom. Like, my mom doesn't live here. My mom's like an hour and a half away doing her thing. But yeah, no one in my house eats like me, but they all support me. They get
Mm-hmm.
it. If we're gonna go out to dinner, my husband makes sure I can get a steak, that kind of thing. I have noticed he started taking out. He's eating less, let's say, pasta, putting in more, meat and things like that. So just, Jake, keep doing your thing. Be a lighthouse. You can't force anybody. Everybody's an adult, right? But hopefully, like what Shawn was saying earlier, they're eventually, maybe they'll see the benefits that you're getting, and hopefully they'll come around. They're gonna maybe want that for themselves, you know.
And be that example, man, because I can
Yeah.
assure you when like I honestly believe like I can see the difference in my family whenever I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. When you have and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect by any means. There's a lot of stuff that I still need to work on. I got a long way to go. I think I'm like, yeah, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I was, that kind of thing. But I can see the difference in my family. If I'm leading my family like I should be and setting that example, that's the main thing. Like if they see you doing it, they're gonna listen to you and they're gonna want to hear what you have to say. Whenever they see, if my family sees me doing carnivore, and every other day I'm partaking of something that's not what I say I'm doing. If I'm let's just call it what it is. If I'm being a hypocrite and I say that I'm carnivore and I'm not eating carnivore, what is that message? You guys may never know it because you see what you see when I turn the screen on. But my wife will see it, and my kids will see it, and my family will see it, and my neighbors will see it. And eventually that kind of thing catches up with you. So just go out there and set that example, and I can assure you that also will be seen. They'll be like, that dude went carnivore or keto or ketovore or low carb or whatever, paleo. My brother did paleo for a year. He's
Mm.
doing that and he changed his life. And that's amazing. And he's strict. And I want to go hang out with him. And then you surround yourself with those people as well and that keep you on track. It's almost a win-win every time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Low carb carnivore says it's almost like we were designed to eat this way. Almost low
Yeah.
carb carnivore.
Right.
And
We were
then Miss
fearfully and
Allison,
wonderfully made.
yeah, absolutely. So Allison Johnson is saying she had the same thought about ketosis and ketoacidosis at the beginning too. Yep, I've heard that a lot. Not as much as this one though. Everyone pretty much everyone that's not eating this way, even like my in-laws and things like that, they're super worried about my cholesterol. Am I clogging my arteries? Yeah, that's high on their list of reasons why they don't think I should be doing this for sure. So, yep, I hear that one all the time. People want my numbers. Paw Beater says chicken wings and beef tallow. That is on my list to try because of Charger Mopar, the 40-year carnivore Rick. That's what he does. I think he calls them heart attack chicken. I think that's what he calls it. And I have some frozen chicken wings. I'm about to try that pretty soon. Yes, and then they're agreeing with you on the kidney issues. Yep, the kidney issues being a huge misconception. So Julie is asking if I think she maybe means olive oil is okay to use. Shawn, what do you think about olive oil?
I, you have to make that call. I don't use anything other than butter. Like we'll use some bacon grease or some tallow. I haven't even tried ghee to be honest with you. I used to use olive oil a little bit. What is it? No, it was avocado. I think it was avocado oil. I can't remember. I had a bottle of some kind of either olive oil or avocado oil, some kind of oil that we would cook with, and it had a higher temperature. Apparently, wouldn't burn as quickly as butter. When you're cooking meat in a frying pan. But then I just changed the whole way that I did my steaks and meat and stuff. And
Mhm.
so I don't use anything other than natural fat, I guess you'd call it, butter and bacon grease and tallow.
I was just gonna say bacon grease too, because you hadn't said that yet, but then you said it. So yeah, whenever I cook my bacon, I bake it in the oven, like on some parchment paper, because then it's no mess and it's very easy and it turns out great. And then I save all that bacon grease, and that's what I cook like my eggs in. If I'm gonna cook a steak, I use beef tallow now. I don't use olive oil. Olive oil, I know for sure it's not good to cook with. Um, so if you're using it at all, you shouldn't cook with it. I don't remember why, but I think it was Dr. Barry said, don't cook with it. So don't do that. Or go watch his video about it. He's the expert.
Well,
He
and
also
the
says
thing,
a lot about it can be adulterated with like canolas and things. Like they've been doing that now. So even though it's like supposed to be high quality, it might not actually be pure olive oil, which could be a problem.
That's right. Well, and the thing is, that the message I want to make sure everybody hears too. Like it may not be ideal, but it's still better. A lot of stuff is still better than completely the standard American diet. If it takes you using olive oil to get you in, on your meat until you can get rid of it, use it until you can get rid of it. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be logical. Let's be logical about it. There's a lot of things that's not ideal. Cheese is another one. Dairy products. So many people in this space struggle with the lactose, casein, and carrageenan in the cheese. It has the more sugar side of the dairy in it versus the butter that has the fatter side, the more
Mhm.
fat and only about 20% leftover milk particles. If cheese can keep you in this transition into carnivore, use it until you can get rid of it. You know that it's not ideal, but if it sustains you in this, do it until you can work it out. But just know that don't be shocked whenever you don't lose, a bunch of weight or you don't reverse a lot of the health issues. Focus on the getting changed over. So if you have to use the olive oil, use it until you can get rid of it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just progress.
Yeah, that happened with me and cheese. When I was keto, I used to have a lot more cheese, like cream cheese, cheddar cheese, all the cheese. I'm not
Hmm.
anti-cheat. Like I'll do cheat. Like if I was somewhere and there was a charcuterie board with cheese, I might have some. Do I eat cheese out
Hmm.
of my refrigerator anymore? No. I think a few weeks ago I made some carnivore crepes with some cream cheese and some eggs. Those were delicious, and I haven't had cheese since then, and it's been 3 weeks ish. So yeah, it's just very sparingly now, and I don't even crave it. Like I used to be like, I can't do it. Like I can't I can't put the cheese down, Now
Hmm.
it's like sometimes, but I don't miss it now that it's mostly
Hmm.
out. So yeah, I totally agree with you there.
Well, the
Um,
thing is, if I eat off plan, like as far as that, like I may have a piece of cheese instead of having like a Snicker bar or a Reese's cup or something. You're
yep,
it's a win-win. Is the
yep,
cheese ideal? No, but it's way better than a Snicker bar. It's way better than the brownie. What is it? The brownie cake, ice cream cake stuff, and all the stuff that I would be eating. Right?
that's
I
right.
mean,
That's 100% right. Nola Carnivore Daryl says it's very restrictive having to take all the medications. Yep.
hmm.
And Marnie Mack says I was restricted when I had to stop working because of brain fog. Eating steaks and energy all day is not restrictive. That's right.
That's
100%.
right. Get it.
Yep. Um, oh, Overcoming
Carnivore.
Carbs coming in saying hello. Hello, Overcoming Carbs. Nice to see you.
What's up?
Overcoming Carbs is coming on my channel with his wife in a few days. I'm very excited about that.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah. So Allison says our friends and our family and friends are noticing the improvements. That's right, Allison. You keep going, and people around you will absolutely notice.
Yes.
All right. I know we're like past an hour. I'm just looking to see. I've been a bad host because there's questions. Okay. Here we go. Over carbs. What is your go to meat after ribeye? Mine is before ribeye, and it's picanha. I already said it. I'm going to say it again. Picanha. How
My
about you?
go my go to if I can't have ribeye, oh man,
So
that's a
sad.
sad thought. That's a sad
Sad.
thought. And sometimes I can't. Sometimes I get short on cash, and I like right now I eat hamburger patties all day today. So I'll go to ground beef. If I had to choose though, like if I can't have ribeye, I want shrimp.
Shrimp. Okay. I can't do
Shrimp,
seafood. I just can't do
really.
it. I'm trying. I made butter mayonnaise and I had a can of tuna, but it was like half butter mayonnaise. But I was like, but I ate that can of tuna though. I'm
Yeah,
trying. Salmon
I
is
can
next.
deal.
I'm gonna do it.
Salmon. I actually like if I have fish, I want salmon.
Okay.
I will do a little bit of tilapia. I haven't had it in a long time. If
Yeah.
it's not tilapia, salmon or shrimp, I don't want it. If it's
Yeah.
I don't want anything
Okay.
outside of the water.
Well, I know I'm getting my omega-3s from the eggs. I know I am, but I just, for whatever reason, feel like I gotta, I don't know why. I just got have a thing. So I'm trying to at least do it. The other thing I tried recently, because everybody was telling me, chuck eye is the poor man's ribeye. Chuck eye is the poor man's ribeye. Everybody was telling me. So I did find some chuck eye and I cooked it up in my cast iron kit, if you're still on. And it was pretty good. Now, it was not as good as ribeye. So if the ribeye is on sale, please get the ribeye. But the chuck eye was not on sale. It was $7.99 a pound, not on sale, regular price. And it was a good steak. Like, it was, I'll do it again. Like, it was good. But no, it is not better than ribeye, but it was good. I don't really like many other cuts, and I did like that one. So that's a tip for you. If you haven't tried chuck eye, give it a shot.
I do like sirloins pretty good too. Like I mean, I will have like if I can't get a ribeye, I will go for a sirloin. New York strips
So
are pretty
picanha
good.
is sirloin cap. Shawn, have you
Okay.
ever tried? It's a sirloin cap. So it is a sirloin, but it has this fat cap on top. And it comes, some people can get it as steaks, but I just get it as a roast. It's like between 2 and 3 pounds. It's like a small roast. And it's a sirloin cap. So it has this fat, it's like the end of the sirloin, and then it has this really like 1/4 inch or more fat cap on there. And it's
Oh, that's
really,
cool.
really good. So yeah, this is
Y'all
my friend Ellie at Nourishment Redacted. She just bought another picanha. So I got her going on
nice.
picanha.
Nice. Yeah, see, there's a lot of stuff you guys have that we don't have. Like my buddy that lives out in California, he talked about tri-tip all the time. We don't have tri-tip in South Carolina. I've never been to the meat market and seen a tri-tip. And maybe they
So
do somewhere, but
yeah, so tri-tip, you're not really missing anything. Like, okay, yes, okay. I'm gonna lose my, not that I care, but whatever. People in California will probably disagree with me because that's where I'm at. But they're very lean. And I'm not
yeah.
really about that. It's not my favorite. Picanha, you should be able to go to your butcher counter and ask for it. The chuck eyes, I would never see. Like I'd see all these other carnivore YouTubers at the grocery store just like showing all the chuck eyes on their video. I would never see them, but I asked. Actually, I ordered them online, and they, my grocery store, you can like order online from the meat counter, and I did that. And they just like, I ordered them, they had them cut for me, and somebody brought them to me, like to my trunk. It was cool.
That's
Um,
cool. So do you order meat now? Do you have it? Have you ever done the
yeah.
box deals?
Okay, so I've done the box deal. I forget which one. It wasn't Butcher Box. It was a different one. I wasn't that impressed with it, so I'm not doing that anymore. I did just put down a $200 deposit on a half a cow from a
Nice.
local rancher. I don't have freezer space for a half a cow, but my mom and my brother and myself are gonna share this half a cow. So the good news is my local rancher is not hurting for business. The bad news is we're not getting our half a cow till April or May.
Ooh.
So they
Wow.
are like serious, man. There's demand for those cows where we are. So, but yeah, on the hoof price, I forget exactly, but it was under $3 a pound on the hoof. Of course, that's not all stuff you're getting. I think it works out to like between $6 and $7 a pound. And that's for
That's not bad.
ground beef, it's that. If it's ribeye, it's that. And that's grass fed, grass finished, because my brother really, really cares about that. So I would have got
Nice.
grain finished, but he cares about grass finished. I know there's a debate about that. The grain finish would have been a little sooner and a little less expensive, but
Hmm.
that was the
That's
problem
cool.
with that. So, I mean, I'm excited to get that and try it. I'm excited to support that little local, ranch. I'm pretty sure I saw my cow out in the field the other day. I'm like, oh, that's my ranch. There's my cow, and one of you is mine.
You were right by there checking it out.
Yeah, yep.
I
All
have
right,
I haven't act
living their best cow life.
That's right. I haven't ever ordered one of those boxes. One of the companies was supposed to send me some stuff to test. I
Oh,
agreed to try it out,
yeah.
maybe in a promotion thing, but I never have got it, and I haven't heard from them, so I don't know what happened. I don't
So
know.
this is what I'm talking about is just on my grocery store, like whatever, nameofgrocerystore.com. Like you guys don't have Stater Brothers here, but there where you
Mm-mm.
no nobody else has it. It's like a California thing. And I think it's a Southern California thing. But whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like other grocery stores have it. So I was like, I can never find chuck eye and I can never find flanken ribs. Like Bella from Steak and Butter Gal, she's always eating those flanken ribs and like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
some. So I'm like, I just went on the grocery store to their like to the meat. I clicked meat and then I started searching. I'm like, well, there's chuck eye right there and there's flanken ribs right there. And they, and then so I'm like, I want 10 chuck eyes and like 6 packages of flanken ribs. And then people made fun of me on my video. They're like personal shopper, ha ha ha. And I'm like, that's just what they call it. So I just put my order online. I want 10 chuck eyes and 6 packages of flanken ribs. And of course, I get the message back. You meant 10 packages? Yes, 10 packages. Do it. But they talk to the butcher for you because they don't have those
Nice.
things cut. I guarantee you, if you walk in the grocery store, you're not going to see them. But they cut them
Huh.
all and then they're like, your order's ready. I'm like, okay. I drove over there. They put it in my trunk. It's no extra charge for that. The chuck eyes were $7.99 a pound and the flanken ribs were $8.99 a pound. That was just the regular
Oh wow.
price for those things. So, anyways, I
Nice.
recommend it. Saved me a ton of time. I didn't have to go in there, wait for them to be cut. They did that all for me when it was ready. I got a text. I went and picked them up. Give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah. So
There you
Ellie
go.
also says, Shawn, that you have the gift of motivational speaking and that whenever you speak, she sees the truth just pour over you. Amen,
Oh,
sister. Yep,
thank
Shawn,
you.
you have the gift. That's why I wanted to talk to you for sure.
I
Um,
appreciate that, friend.
awesome.
I
I'm just
appreciate
looking for
that.
cues real quick. I'm just trying this. I don't see any more. Somebody says they found flanken ribs at Walmart. I found pork belly at Walmart. That was cool.
Hmm.
I bought it. I haven't tried it yet, but that's something you don't see in California every day is pork belly. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, Shawn, last question because I want to talk about your channel. I'm sure most of the people in here are already subscribed to you. Like my little meeting wellness channel. It's probably most of you got your followers anyways. But your channel is You're the Intentional Carnivore. How did you come up with that name? What does it mean to you? And then while you're talking about that, I'm gonna see if I can present my screen and show your
Okay.
channel.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah. So honestly, whenever I first finally came around to the idea of starting a YouTube channel, I was talking with Larry Berkowitz, and he's like, man, if you keep your name as Shawn White, they're only going to find the snowboarder. And I'm like, you know what? That's true. I couldn't even find my own channel. So I thought about it for a while, and I come up with a couple of different names. And one day I was listening to Brad Gray. He has a channel called Walking the Text, and he's an amazing teacher of scripture. And he was doing a teaching on Jesus, and he taught about how Jesus, when he came to earth, was extremely intentional. Whenever he backed away from the crowd, whenever he, whenever he healed someone, whatever he did, he was extremely intentional. And because of my faith, and I believe that Christ lives in us, for those of us who have faith, we should be intentional as well. How can he live in us and us not be intentional if he is intentional? It seems logical to me. And for so long I didn't exemplify that. So nevertheless, the more I listened, the more I heard that message, and the more I thought on it, I was like, intentional. That's it. And I just, that was it. It sounded kind of uh, driven and purposeful to me. And I said, I'm tired of living life as it being just handed. So the change has to be intentional. You choose to love. You choose to make the right decisions. At the end of the day, it has to be intentional. And with Christ living through me, I should live intentional. And so that's where the intentional carnivore came from. I'm intentional in that, like, I want to share my way of eating and what I have been my life, how my life has been transformed with other people. At the same time, I also it's interlinked with my faith, and I want to be an example of Christ who lives in me as well. I'm not trying to force it on anyone else, but I will more than happy to show you what has given me the power and strength to face no matter what life throws at me, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what comes tomorrow. I know who holds tomorrow, and he orders my steps as well. and he has led me to an amazing way of eating that has transformed my health. He has transformed my mind, and together, like it's such a transformation of everything in my life. I can't speak enough about it. So that's where intentional came from. That's where I'm kind of at, and hopefully, we'll see things continue to get better and grow and see more people. Honestly, that's kind of. I know that was one of the other questions that you had. I don't know if you was going to that one next or or whatever, but the what the future looks like for me, hopefully, is I'm gathering an army of people who found themselves where we were not long ago, and we can help them find success as well. So that's kind of where the YouTube and Facebook group and all that stuff is headed for me, and I just want to see it grow, and I want to see people lives transformed. And I'm just crazy enough, man. I say it all the time. Crazy enough to believe that people like you, people like me, people like Kit, people like Low Carb Carnivore and Carnivlog and all
Yep.
these folks, and Ellie as well. Together we can change the world. We really can, because it starts with us, but we can make a huge impact in this world and change
Yep.
lives, man.
Well, consider me one in that army, right? Trying to do this thing with you and shoulder to shoulder, man. That's how we're gonna do it. So I just
Absolutely.
want to thank you for coming on my little baby new channel that's not even 2 months old, and you just answered with a resounding absolutely. I'll be there. And that just meant so much to
Sure.
me because I've been watching you, and I do follow you. I know when I was on the YouTube channel, I did subscribe to your channel. I'm just like JT. I'm not logged in because I wanted to show people where that subscribe button is. So if anyone is not subscribed yet to Shawn, please do that. His channel is amazing. He's doing great things over there. And thanks for, like I said, coming over and talking to me. This was great. I hope we can talk again sometime. Maybe we'll find ourselves on a round table together somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, man, like everybody starts somewhere. Everybody's story, no one's story is less important than anyone else's.
that's right.
So I feel like it is important, and I love meeting other people and other carnivores and good folks. So I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed the talk, and we'll definitely do it again.
All right.
Appreciate you
Well,
having me on.
yeah, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you around the what do they call it? The carniverse, the carnivore
The
universe,
carnivores.
the
Yeah,
carniverse.
for
See you around.
everybody on my channel too, go give Chrissy a like at Meeting Wellness, and give her some love, show her some love, support her, and let's get this thing done. Let's impact the world, man. No day like today.
All
We'll
right.
see you
Thanks
soon.
everybody. We'll see ya.
See ya.